candid conversations, unfiltered opinions, and humor with Abeg Vex podcast.
Hello, everybody. Good day, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. So today I have the pleasure of having Mr. Ekemini Ekwere, the host of The Issue, again for beautiful conversation. Please follow along. We're going to talk. We're going to exchange ideas, and we're going to share things in common and also have opposing viewpoints. Please like, comment, share, tell us what you think, tell us what you feel about the conversation. So without much further ado, Mr. Ekemini, please can you introduce yourself to the people again and tell us what we're going to be discussing today.
Oh wow! Today's session will be very, very interesting. Of course, I can't wait to have the conversation starting. Okay, amazing viewers, good to have you all here again with the Uproot the Issue podcast host Ekemini Ekwere, and I'm so happy, I'm so delighted because we're gonna talk about something very interesting about your life, your career, and your decision towards relating with others in the society. So just stay tuned and follow us quickly as we start.
Beautiful. I love it. I love every minute of it. So basically, before we got on this conversation, you were telling me that, you are of the opinion that your personality has a lot to do with determining what career or passion that you pursue in life. Can you just elaborate a little bit on that?
Okay, so an individual, what you should know as a person is that you have certain pattern of behaviors that distinguish you from others. Okay, so there's some way you behave that we can spot out very well. This is a kind of being, this kind of a person, she's this kind of a person, is that kind of a person. He doesn't mingle around, is this person that is reserved, he loves his personal space, he loves being alone, he loves taking things tedious, and he ensures that everything he or she is trying to do is very, very conscious about making any mistakes. Mistake is not his kind of thing. He is less or zero erroneous. So if you are that kind of a person, that is your kind of personality. So your kind of personality will now determine the career venture you are trying to move into. So if the industry, for example, now someone that is very reserved, someone that is, I know of engineering very well, and surveying. So if they don't, because they know one risk, a mistake can lead to, loss of life, a damage, total breakdown. So you can see such kind of a person who, an engineer, kind of a personality like him, he hates kind of being in a crowd. He just loves his own space. You can even lock the individual indoor for 2 weeks. Nothing will happen. Just give him maybe books, pen, something that will keep him or her busy. He just love it than you exposing him to, hey, come, let's go out for games. Come, let's go out for this. He just believes that the time he's spending outside is just wasting his whole time and resources. Meanwhile, he would have used that to improve himself. So you can see that person, such kind of person, planning or even dreaming of becoming an actress or actor. Like how now? It's something that is very opposite, or maybe going for advocacy, arguing. The person is not an expressive type, There's no time for arguments, doing that, kind of going into law. So it's off the target. So it can affect your own decision. Which career am I going into? Okay, I'm this person that is very outspoken. I love defending what I believe this is it, because there's a difference between this is how it should be and this is it. So I love speaking out. I love, defending my own belief. Yes, it is a different ball game.
So, but I also think that there are people that do have like a reserved personality that actually go into careers that puts them in the limelight, right? So somebody that has a reserved personality, you mentioned acting, right? Somebody can go into acting, but they're not about the rah-rah kind of lifestyle, right? So I want to use a famous actor that, he's known around the world, Keanu Reeves, right? Keanu Reeves is best known for this movie. It's like a movie that has a lot of fighting, a lot of violence, John Wick.
Okay.
So John Wick is a movie series, but it also is about like a lot of fighting, kidnapping, killing, But Keanu Reeves in real life is a very reserved person. He rides a bicycle.
Okay. Like he does more of outdoor kind of things.
Not just outdoors. He doesn't have a fancy car. He doesn't have
Okay.
like a big estate. He makes a lot of money, but he's not a person that lives an opulent lifestyle. He's a very shy
Okay.
person.
Okay.
Even when he's doing promos for his movies, yes, he does red carpet, but he's not somebody that you're going to ever see in like, living flashy, partying on a
Flashy kind of
yacht and all
lifestyle.
these things.
Okay.
But
Okay.
he's an actor, right? He's an actor. So just because you are an introvert in a sense, right? And he doesn't dress like he's a superstar, like, fancy clothes, the
Okay. Like a celebrity.
no, he
Okay.
doesn't do anything celebrity, but he loves to act. So
Okay.
this kind of like goes in line with my feeling about like the secondary school education system in Nigeria,
Okay.
where your WAEC, your junior WAEC kind of like determines what class you
Yeah.
go
What you
into.
will? Yes. In the
Exactly.
SS
But what
class.
if
Yeah.
I had a rough time at my junior WAEC time that either I couldn't study the way I wanted to study, I just had a teacher that did not invest in me enough for me to get the subject matter, then all of a sudden I have been put into an art class when I'm actually a scientist at heart, right?
Okay.
hmm
Okay.
So,
Okay. There has been a reformation now in the system. Currently, if you are in SS1, the state government here in Akwa Ibom State, they have actually reformed that as an SS1 student, you will offer all the courses, both commercial, science, and art. 23 subjects you will offer. It is compulsory, so that
okay.
from there you'll be able to know from SS2 that you start choosing the angle that you want to, venture. Is it art? Is it science? So it must have mean that before you finish your entire SS1 program, you should know, oh, this is what I'm good at, this is what I need, this is what I'm not good at. I should avoid that. So that is what is obtainable
That
now.
that is a great update. Thank you for that. Because when I was in secondary school, I didn't have that option. My junior WAEC was basically determine what class. And the
Okay.
way that it was determined, it was almost like, the highest scoring students were
Yeah,
automatically in
yeah,
science
yeah, yeah,
classes.
yeah, yeah.
And even with that, if you're already experiencing, knowing what I experienced at that time in my life, it was a double blow, right? The one thing that I felt was my escape was school, right? But, because I wasn't in the right frame of mind at the time, my one escape was like, boom, this is only what you're good for. And after that, I didn't feel the need to really apply myself to my studies. So there was a lot of emotional aspects of things happening. So give it 23 is a lot. 23 is a lot. 23 classes subjects is a lot, but also
I
is an
can.
option. Is an option.
Yeah.
I had this conversation with somebody who actually is Korean. I think he's Korean and Thai, right? So, we were talking about he's a head physical therapist at a hospital I take my students to. We were both talking about and the similarities between the Asian culture and the African culture when it comes to
African culture. Okay.
right. So he's like he didn't know the similarities until very much later on in life. Then there's a huge difference. He grew up around, like the African American, he knew that culture very well. It wasn't until he went to college that he met Africans from all over, the African continent, that their experiences and growing up and the emphasis on education, and not only emphasis on education, but basically having your career predetermined by your family, that he actually saw the similarities. But going back to choices, and this is what I said to him. I also tell him my experience that, science has always been my thing. I've always liked sciences. I always wanted to do sciences, but unfortunately, given the system, the way the system was set up, I was automatically
Okay.
rerouted to arts or finance because I was in a finance class. And unfortunately, because I had some interest in it, but it wasn't my first choice, so I didn't really apply myself. However, when I got a chance to leave that education system, I appreciated that I had a choice, that I could be tested based on my knowledge at the time,
Okay.
right? To fit
Yeah.
into the right classes for that career path. So somebody, looking at me, knowing my personality, they will say, "Oh, you know what? She better fit. She's a better fit for like the art, theater art, acting, dancing."
Yeah.
Because growing up, in the traditional dances, I was known in primary school for acting, right? So,
Yeah.
won't mention anything to anybody who grew up with me. The one thing they will remember about me was traditional dances and acting, right? That doesn't mean that I don't have
A passion for
the passion for
sciences.
acting, but you understand. But
Yeah.
I'm still a scientist at heart, right? But I
Okay.
love acting, right? It's like
Acting.
this
Okay.
actor Terrence Howard. Terrence Howard is I think he went to school for neuroscience. So he is a very smart, a very intelligent person. Even Taraji P. Henson. All these people went to school as scientists, but they love acting, right? When you talk about a scientist, you have a picture of somebody that just loves their enclosure, wants to focus on
Yeah.
studying and
Yeah.
getting things. It doesn't always bode that way. Like I have seen it even in my own life, right? So,
Okay. Okay.
but you're not wrong, because again, personal knowing who you are is going to better
Yeah.
help you
Help you out.
determine what your interests are, right?
Okay.
There's something in nursing. That's why I said personal knowing. But on the other side is about, your belief system, so that you
Yes.
don't project your belief system to your patient. Like you go and take care of somebody, right? And you are not it's not something that you take lightly. So what are you going to do? Are you going to treat this person badly because they're a killer, or are you going to say, you know what, I don't agree with what you did, but right now you're in a position where you need my help and I'm supposed to treat you and
Okay.
get you better, so I'll focus on your need right now, not necessarily
Not
what
necessarily.
you've done.
Okay.
Right.
Who you are.
Who you
Okay.
are, exactly. Your belief system and my belief system conflict,
Is
but you know
different.
what? At the end of the day, I have a job to do, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that is the thing with personal knowing. It will help you
Okay.
in pursuing your passion, pursuing your career, and being a productive member of the society. But
Okay.
I don't think people should default to, okay, because my personality is this, I have to stick to this. It almost has like a comfort zone type stuff
Okay.
where
Yeah.
you don't
You're
yes,
just comfortable. This is where I can
eh,
thrive.
yes,
You're relaxed. I get that. I get that.
right,
I get that. I
yes,
get that. I get that.
yes.
Just
So
feel
maybe
relaxed.
I'll
But
just
I think
sit your mono with my, but then all of a sudden, even if I have a message to say, I won't say anything, because you know
you
what?
don't have to say that.
Right, right, right,
No,
right.
I'm shy. I cannot.
I'm
I'm shy. I'm shy.
shy. Because I'm
Yeah, I
shy. I don't
understand. I
like other
understand.
people. I
Understand.
don't like a lot of
Understand.
people, so I won't say anything. So it's
Okay.
yeah, it's kind of like a very comfort zoney type of excuse. And
Okay.
also, I think because as a society, sometimes we have this picture in the head of what a scientist should be, right? So,
Yes. Yes.
and people are scared of the judgment that comes. I'm going to a scientist.
When I'm science.
Cinema forget and I'm acting. Acting, right? I'm going to doctor. It been acting for nam content. Things like that. It's judgmental things. And
That's happening too here in Nigeria. A whole lot of actors like this man Ukwa. You should know Ukwa now, Sophia.
yes, Nkemowo,
Yeah,
yes,
Osofia studied electronic engineering in the university, but today he's an actor. I can also remember this popular Nollywood actor. His name is Frederick Leonard. Leonard studied biochem in a polytechnic, but today he's an actor. 1 year in Akwa Ibom. I think you should know him. 8 win a BSA, MC Governor. He studied a graduate of civil engineering here in UNIU, but today he's a state like there's no weak that guy. I think yesterday he emceed the traditional marriage of the deputy governor's daughter. So it's so that's what is going on. But I think that will lead to we discussing about the types of temperament, because when you know your angle of temperament, where you operate, I think that will help you to determine what career decision you need to make at this time. And from what you've said now, I've known that personality and passion works in tandem in
Right.
career choice, because
Right.
you can't mistake, you can't elude the fact that this is passion, this is your personality. So you need to marry them together in order to know where you can fit in, and in order to expand your horizon, to explore your
Right.
potentials and get it done.
Right. So even with that, even with temperament, right? So I'm all for being an agitator. Okay.
Okay?
I'm all for, going against the grain. Okay. My husband very,
Okay.
very affectionately calls me a contrarian. Right. So I do everything contrary to what you think it should look like, because you
You
know
should
what?
look like, yeah.
Let's just inject some spice into this thing. So when he has anything that he wants, like an out of, I don't consider a box. They say, oh, think outside of the box. Which box? What are you
Think
putting in
you
the
bring
box?
your own, you
Uber
bring
mess,
the box in.
your boxes, like, can you go? I don't I don't do boxes. So when my husband wants like a fresh new insight or idea to something, and he's a very,
Uh,
very intelligent man, and
okay.
sometimes when he's like, okay, I'm trying to, this is what is happening. This is my idea on having to solve this problem, or, take care of this thing. Babe, what do you think? Right? And here I am. I'm so happy. I'm like, okay, so babe, did you do this? Did you do this? I'm thinking maybe if you do this and this and this and this, maybe. And,
Yeah.
I'm just so blessed in the sense that, we have a relationship that I may not be an expert in his area of career,
Career,
and
yeah.
he may
But that
not be an expert
understanding.
in mine, but we bounce things off of each other, okay? And we support each other
Yeah.
in that sense. So he's expert out of, the world thinker. Sometimes it's like, okay, babe, bring it down a little bit. Okay. Let's think on human level, because you're all the way up there. So I think it's great to inject fresh new things to what society may think something should be. The
Something should be
guy
okay.
here, his name is Bill Nye. So he's called Bill Nye the Science Guy, right? He makes science fun, right? Once, if you watch a science movie or a documentary, and then the beaker was placed on the fire, and then the Bunsen burner, boiled the solution, and then this is what, science is meant to be, right? But
Very
Bill
tough.
makes it fun, right? And he
Hmm.
writes songs about this. And then, there's this thing that he does. It's like, what's the difference between a beaker and a flask, right?
Hmm.
So a beaker is different from a flask. What's
Hmm.
the difference, if I may ask you?
A beaker and a flask.
Yes. One has a neck.
Okay.
So
And
one,
the other doesn't.
yes, the K, a beaker
Okay.
and a flask. So he does things like that, So I will never forget that, So like you can inject your personality into your career. It will
In
make
your
you stand
okay.
out. Exactly. It will make you
Yes.
stand out, especially if it's not the norm, right? That's why I don't not that I don't like. I'm not a super traditional, this is the way it's always been done kind of a thing, because there's ways of maintaining the integrity of a career, or in maintaining the integrity of something, and
Okay.
but with new innovative way of thinking, because times are changing. There are different
Yes.
ways of doing things. So like the guy that you mentioned emceed a wedding recently, you said the deputy governor's daughter's wedding. Yeah, so he is a scientist. He's not meant to be an MC.
He's not been definitely. But the
But
guy
he
is
has
very
voice,
funny, very
right?
fun guy.
He has a charisma to him. He has a certain way of, getting people's attention. He has a certain way of,
Yeah,
making an occasion fun. Do you
fun.
understand?
Yeah,
So, but
yes.
he belongs in a lab somewhere in a hospital. He's a scientist.
Hey, I don't think he's even mostly he's practicing that is personal because he's working in Excel FM, working in the radio station. So
See? See?
no way,
What's a
no.
scientist doing in a radio station? That's something society would ask.
But
But
I just see the place of passion there in him.
we're passionate about different things. Even when you watch like some videos, some of these reels or funny videos on whatever social media, you see different doctors playing around with little kids so that they can give them injection without it seeming like a
Yes.
traumatic event, right? He's a doctor. He could have most doctors don't do injections anyway. That is just not, at least not here in, the United. The nurses take care of that. But, in the case where doctors,
But I don't like injection at all.
you don't
I
like
shy away
injection?
from that.
What is wrong with you?
I don't like that.
Okay, well, sometimes you have to take it. Well, so,
It's been years. So I think that was 2012. The last time I took that. I don't know.
really?
I will run. No, don't do. I'm very serious. I don't.
Keep going on.
I will cry for you.
Injections they're not that bad, yeah. So it's like doctors employing like different funny aspects to make something like,
Yeah, at
not
least
too
bring in
scary for a
innovation.
child who's already scared to be in the doctor's office. You understand? So you can bring in your personality into things. Let people be innovative. Let people feel free. Let people feel excited to do things. Personality, yes, it can definitely determine your career. I have seen police
Yes.
officers who are so gentle, who are so kind, who are so nice. And I've seen others that are, so it's like you can be a kind police officer, but that doesn't mean that you're bad at your job. You don't have to be aggressive to be a police officer. You don't have to have muscle from here to your ears.
To become a police officer.
You don't have to have that physical build, right?
Yes,
That people
yes.
that are, nice and trim that are police officers or even military people, right? The women
Yes,
that do
yes.
the same thing. Oh, I don't want, you're too soft. It doesn't.
They're too soft. Yeah,
Right,
feminine. You don't
right.
need to be there.
Exactly. You're too feminine.
You're weak. Yeah,
You're
you're
weak. Please
vulnerable.
stay
You
there.
shouldn't be there. Especially the army. Especially the army. You should not
Thank
be
you.
there at all.
Right. So there's some of those women that can, yoke you up right quick and put over your shoulder. You don't even know what happened. They bought one time, So it's like, personality, some of them are gentle, but again, you cannot look at somebody's presentation and determine what they are. Somebody can walk into a place looking rugged, like Keanu Reeves. He blends in with the society very well. So he wears clothes that, he just comfortable. He can wear a regular t-shirt and messed up jeans and just he walks the street. He sits down and he feeds the wild animals like the birds. So you can actually even say, oh, this person looks homeless or this is a homeless person, right? But he is an actor. He is an actor with a long list of accolades, right?
Wow.
But don't discount somebody just based on their personality where, you
Personality,
have
yes.
teachers of different calibers. I experienced different Nigerian teachers in my day. I had people who had something to prove and they were mean for no reason. They picked on me for no reason. I had people that were kind, right? They took a chance on me, right? Then they taught me understanding that I was a student and I was learning, right? I had teachers that felt like, okay, because you've encountered me for one class, you've already predetermined my future, right? So
Yes,
I had
yes,
people
yes,
who
yes.
counted me out. I had people who took a chance on me, right? But Different personalities. Very different personalities, very different temperaments, right? Some of them knew they were
Yes.
rough around the edges and didn't care. Some of them knew they were gentle and didn't care, right? And some of them knew they were in between. They had their rough moments and they had their gentle moments,
And
right?
yeah,
Perfect blend. So what makes a good teacher? You must be rough and tough, or you must be gentle, or you must have a combination of both, right? There are times that I needed that rough and tough, right?
Yes.
There were times I needed that
Yes.
gentle, right? And there were times
Yes.
I needed that combination of both, right?
At
So
least you keep your mind focused.
exactly, right? So I don't think any one personality can say, imagine I want to forget when and all your teachers were mean because that was the personality required to be a teacher. So for me and the Tommy, would that be a good experience for you? School would be
Never,
a very
never, never,
stressful place, right? So
ever,
even in my
never.
career today, I make a very conscious effort to be myself. Okay? And any of my students can tell you what that is. I don't care. I'm just myself, right? So I'm not like the one professor that we're teaching the same course together or the other one. I'm not like anybody else. I'm myself, right? But we each bring something to the table. There's a class that
To
I'm
the table,
teaching right
yes.
now. There's 3 of us, right? There's me,
Okay.
there's the other person, and then there's the other person, right? 3 different personalities. Depending on what the students need, they know who to go to.
Okay.
They have that option. Do you understand? They
Okay.
have that
Yes,
option.
yes,
They
yes.
know this person is this way. They know I'm this way, and they know the other person is that way, right? So depending on how serious they want the situation or how serious the situation is, depending on what they need at that time, they know who to go to. We
Wow.
teach the same class, but 3
Yes.
different personalities, 3 different people,
Wow.
right?
Okay.
So I think that there should be a good mix, that people should not be discounted based on their personality. That's just my perspective.
Okay.
I don't know what you think.
Okay, what I feel about personality is yeah, I've learned a lot from you too. Most persons they have, had it been, people do take time to understand themselves, to know, to have that personal knowing of who
Right.
they are. I believe the world would have been a better place today. So you know your sum total of your being, who you are,
Right.
this is your kind of life, or this is a life you like living. Okay, you don't like stressing yourself. You're just free, you're just cool, So if you would understand that, if you know yourself, oh, this is no one can change this fact about you. You are just a kind of a simple being. You don't like, stressing yourself too much to get something, fixed, or maybe impress another person. This is your kind of life. No one can change you on that aspect. Okay,
Right.
making you to feel, all of a sudden you are this kind of pompous kind of a person. Yeah, carrying your shoulder up. So I believe if we pomposity. I do. Pride. I have pride. So if people really understand this, yes, I'm this simple. If I am this person that there's no one that actually doesn't have hold himself as self-esteem. No, at least we all of ourselves, we value ourselves so much. We don't want anyone to, deter a kind of feeling. But at the same time, if we understand this is who I am, I'm simple, I am gentle, and at the same time, it will go so well in your flowing and getting so efficient in your career, in such a way that, at least from your experience now as a professor, it's sometimes I do wonder if we have your type in Nigeria, lecture, because there are some of them that are very, very funny. There are professors that we know that if we go to meet this one, wahala. If we go to meet this other person, the substance is there. And there are ones that they don't, they play certain, they just take life. They see that there is a breach, a long gap between you and him. He has acquired so much in life. His level of, there are people that they don't picture, even if they feel that they cannot just fit you in. They have acquired a lot. It's so humongous, so the knowledge cannot be, they can't break it down to a way you should understand, and that's what we are suffering over here. They can't break it down to your own level. They just be like, these guys, they are too small for me. They should bring in PhD students so that I can handle. So if we have that kind of understanding, this like a very gentle kind of a person, this kind, and you see students like that. One thing about learners is that learners love compassion. So a teacher who is so compassionate, who values the feeling of a learner, you see learners who tend to love that particular, not necessarily because a learner is because when we talk about the yardstick for determining how good a person is, it might be different in the other person. Maybe teaching method or method of explanation or method of handling, the class. Yes, making the class to be fun. There's a lecturer that can just spend 30 minutes and you don't gain 2 hours and you don't get anything out from the class. It's just trying to pour you with a whole lot of knowledge that is not really relevant. But there's a lecturer that can just spend 30 minutes, and that 30 minutes you just feel like the class should not end. The lecturer will be like, should I go? No, 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 sir. The students are getting to love you. In fact, they even miss, they will be like, at least after class now, let's tell us about this lecturer. I don't think I love this lecturer more than the other person. Not really like you are not good, but there's some sort of thing you are fixing in, you are blending in your own teaching method or kind of handling your students, which is different from the other person. So I just believe that, that's why one time ago, I think my doctor, Reverend Father Dr. Michael Item said that there are 4 ways a student could be efficient. As a student, you should know these ways: active learning, active reading, active writing, and active conversation. So if you can apply these 4 ways and you cannot succeed as a student, you need to see your village people. They have located you.
Yeah.
Trace your location. Trace your location. Your location is on. Your location is on. The village people, they have traced you all the way from your village down to the campus. So the conversation here, I must appreciate the fact that learners, at least in this learning environment, get to learn every day. So from different perspective, you get, at least you achieve from this person, you get to fixing your own. So I believe personality and passion, your own kind of personality should move in a long way to determine your career choice. Yes, your personality matters, because when you know who you are, I believe there's nothing someone can change about that. You are just a person. That's why most people will be like,
Just make yourself versatile. Don't. I think my one message to everybody who's listening to this is that don't sell yourself short. Okay, don't say, okay, because this is the only thing I can do, or this is my personality, that's all I'm going to focus on. There's nothing wrong with that. Please do not get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with picking one thing, focus on, and being a master of it. If that is your personality, that is your personality. If that is your focus, that's your focus. The people that cannot multitask at all, I don't fall in that category. I have multiple things at different times, right? But don't be like me. Please do not be like me, because you drive yourself crazy. I'm just saying, just expand your horizon, put yourself in a position to learn more things. Despite you feeling like, okay, this is the only place you fit in, or this is the only thing that you can do. Learn new things, learn more things, expand your expertise, and enjoy life. Life is meant to be enjoyed. Appreciate people around you. Be a good friend, be a good family member by understanding the personalities of your loved ones and the people that, actually invest in you. So everybody, it was great, great, great having this conversation with Ekemini again. This is Mr. Ekemini Ekwere. This was great. This was great. So thank you, Ekemini. Have a great, great, great rest of your day. I'm looking forward to the next topic. I don't know what you're going to throw in my lap next, but I'm so happy. I can't wait. Have a great day. Bye, everybody. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Abeg Vex podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave us a review. It really helps us out. We'd love to hear your thoughts and continue the discussion. So join us on social media or drop us a message. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and keep pushing the boundaries of your world.